Welcome back to Awful Movie Reviews.
Personally, I like it just like it is. A nice, cozy threesome.
We're back with another John Agar movie today, and we're reviewing Hand of Death. A movie that, even though Agar wasn't the best actor in the world, this just doesn't do him justice.
Here, file this with the rest of our failures.
But before we get going, if there's a bad movie you'd like me to review, just leave me a comment down below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to never miss out on another bad movie review every Friday and cult horror movie review every Tuesday.
Well, maybe we can give you a longer lunch hour.
Right off the bat, Hand of Death is one of those by-the-numbers science experiments gone wrong movies, but it's one of the worst I've seen. It's even a weird thing to say about a film, but this one has no ambition. It barely delivers the bare minimum, which is one of the main reasons why this is such a snooze fest. In fact, the only good thing about it, apart from Agar, is that it's only an hour long. According to the producer, they couldn't find anyone competent to direct because the screenplay was so bad. But you know what? They did it anyways.
Some days it doesn't pay to get up.
John Agar plays Dr. Alex Marsh, who discovers a secret toxic gas that could potentially be used as a weapon. And if that's the case, it would revolutionize war as we know it. But he spills the liquid on himself one night, which knocks him right out, and he starts dreaming about flying lab equipment and rats.
You know what we got, boy.
He also becomes some sort of a monster, and anyone who touches him instantly burns and dies.
God, he's dead.
Which is funny because he can still drive a car, the steering wheel doesn't melt down, the different materials don't burn down, his clothes don't burn down, so why is it only people that are affected by this? Once Dr. Marsh discovers what he has become, his very first reflex is to burn all of his hard work and the whole laboratory down with it, which honestly was a pretty drastic decision on his part, even considering the circumstances. And of course, the police found the evidence. When you're trying to hide a body, the worst thing that you can do to attract attention to yourself is to set the whole house on fire and have giant clouds of smoke puffing out in the middle of nowhere. The police are bound to notice that something's going wrong at some point. Yep, just put on a hat and a coat, and nobody will notice you. Dr. Marsh turns into a deformed monster. I don't really know what to call it. It looks like an even more messed up hunchback of Notre Dame. And this, during the second half, is when things really start to crumble. Because the first half is okay, but during the second half, that's when we witness Hand of Death break down into a steamy crock of shit.
I just can't believe it.
While the makeup effects look okay, they made a very big mistake of giving the monster this frankly ludicrous walk. The guy is constantly tripping and falling over things, and walks like he's got a stick up his ass. It's kind of funny to watch. You can't take this seriously. Whenever the creature is trying to speak, we only hear those ridiculous moaning sounds, which just had me crying. Interestingly enough, Hand of Death was considered a lost film up until 2002. No one could seem to get a copy of it, and if only that was still the case today, because man, this would have saved a lot of moviegoers a lot of pain and sorrow. Overall, nah, I really didn't like this movie. It's terrible. And so, there's only one last thing I can say: what an awful movie.